Hey friends, Adam here. This is the second video in the video that I'm titling Let's Play Some 8-Ball. The first video, and I will put a link up here to that, or the playlist, or however I want to do this. I originally recorded the entire thing, as I said in the end of the first video. I recorded the entire thing as one giant long video and then realized nobody's going to watch a 2 hour and 20 minute, a 2 hour and 15 minute video or whatever it is. So I wanted just to make a quick intro here from me from the future to let you know that this is the second part of that video. This is the second ball break, and I'm going to do 5 racks. This one gets a little intense. There's a lot going on. I explain a lot of things. The racks are more convoluted and more compressed and more clusters and more strategy. So if that's what you're into, look for that. Otherwise, look for that first video with the head ball break. Those are a little more spread out, a little more what you would expect in a larger table. These are probably what you're going to expect on a bar table. So with that said, let's get over to the video and enjoy. All right, for these next 5 racks, it's going to be second ball break. Now, I don't know how long this is. I feel like I've been talking for 7 hours, and I'm sure you feel like I've been doing the same. So I might put this into a part 2. I'd kind of like this all to be combined so I could refer to things. If I do a part 2, it's obviously a separate video, but I kind of like the idea of just waiting or just putting it all together. It'll be a longer video. I think it'll be worth it. What I'm doing for the break, and actually let me address rack 5. Probably should have looked a little bit closer at some sort of safety valve for rack 5. But once I hit the 10 and I made the 11, I felt like I was locked into the run, and everything went and everything had a pocket. So it was just a matter if I got a half an inch further on that 9 ball, I would have been fine. Or if I would have just taken another shot and looked at it differently. But I thought I could spin around the 7. I still might have been able to, but probably not. But anyway, hopefully these racks will leave me some more room to kind of go for more safety options. These breaks tend to be a little messy. I can hit them pretty good sometimes, so I'm hoping I'll get some messy ones. But what I'm doing, and for the record, those 5 were right in a row, even though I cut out in between stuff of me just babbling to myself and racking and stuff. Those racks were back to back, so you saw a realistic, now granted I'm breaking every one of them, but you saw a realistic 5 racks in a row. What I'm looking to do is I'm looking to hit this ball head on, this 12 ball, with a lowish ball, not draw, not stun, somewhere in between. And my goal, real goal, is to make this 14 over here. There's also another ball in this rack that pops out and goes 1 rail here. There's another ball that can pop out and go 1 rail here. And then there's kind of random balls that can go all over the place. The cue ball is going to come out here, maybe back through the pack, depending on what happens with the break. That's what I'm trying to do. No spin, just center ball. And I did not make anything, but we have a mess of a rack, so this should be a good one for teaching. By teaching, I mean watching me flop around trying to make a fool of myself, which I'm really good at. Some people will put low outside, which is right spin in that case on the break. Some people put low, and what that does is it kind of just pushes the balls different ways. Low left will take the ball and go 1, 2, 3 rails around. I find that really dangerous because there's a lot more options that can get kicked. Now granted, this didn't come out great. It didn't go into the pack. I think I had too much draw on it. But we do have one mess of a rack. Most obvious mess is right here, the 8 and the 1. That 1 does not go. That 1 might go from here. It's about as close to that 7 and 9 ball we're in the 5th rack. So I either have to break it out or play safe before I get there. The other obvious issue that I'm ignoring right now is these 3. But there's a lot of balls around them to be able to do something with. The big issue for stripes though, I think the 12 is a worse issue than these 3, because you can use the 10 or the 11 to break those out. But looking at an opening shot here, I do not have the 11, I do not have the 10, I have the 6, I have the 9, maybe even off the 6. That's a rough shot. That's not something I want to open my account with. I have the 5, which is tough. I cannot break out those 3 with the 5. Do not try. even with a ton of inside spin, you're always gonna come wide of those. Like if I was here, I don't even think I could do it there. So what do we do? Leave me a comment, pause the video, let me know what you shoot. I cannot shoot the 6 off the 12 into the side. The 12 is too high up and it will hit the point. I could hit the 9 off the 6 in the side, but that may make the 6 go in front of one of those other balls. The other issue of playing the 6 is where's the cue ball going? If I can clear the 15, I could maybe spin it out and go into these with the 7 as insurance. If I don't clear the 15, I could scratch very easily. So looking at this, I think I'm gonna take the 6, I'm gonna draw, and I'm gonna go off into the 15, but on the full side, on more of this side of the ball, and then hope to have 2, 4, 5, and then be able to deal with the 3, and then hope I can get into a situation where I can use the 1 to my advantage. So this is a straight draw, maybe a touch of left. Get out of there. So this is what happens with these racks. I just majorly screwed up the 7 ball. So now it doesn't even make sense for me to really go after this 3. Because if I get the 3 out of the way, what does it buy me? I don't have a shot in the 7. Now you could say, Adam, well, you could bank the 3 right now. If you want to do that, you are free to come over and play any time of the day or week or month. The 1 looks like it could go from here. But as solids, do I want to move the 1? The answer is no. Unless I'm positive I can get out, I do not want to move the 1. So I would actually save the 1 for last, because it does look like it could go from here, pop it out, and you have the 8 right there, but it does not go past the 1, so stripes would have to do something, and it's also kind of tying up that 9 ball. So now what I want to do is I want to try to get the 7 out of there, knowing that I have this as my safety valve. I can take more risks to try to get that 7 out of there. I could do it right now off the 5 with upper right, kind of come 1 rail and right into it. It does go past the 15 if I could get it on this rail, just barely. It's a tight position window. But I could also use the 7 to get the 3 out if I needed to. Kind of like that shot. The 2 is almost straight on, but the 2 also provides me ways to get around and maybe even get into here if I need to later on. So I'm gonna try this 5 ball, playing it with top right, coming 1 rail into the 7. I do not want to go into the 10. And I got it out, which does me no good because it doesn't go anywhere. So now I have a tough shot in the 4. I have maybe, like you bar guys love this kind of shot, the 3 off the rail, off the 1 and in, but that to me is just might as well just call it a day and go home if you're gonna try that stuff. You are not gonna win many games like that. Now, safety-wise, the 15 is kind of a big ball because it's out in the open. There's no real way to hide the cue ball unless I could get behind here. That's a tough ask. I go off the 4. I'd have to go off the, I'd have to play the 4 almost into the 8 in order to get that angle. So I'm not gonna try that. I'm actually gonna try the 4 up in the corner. The cue ball, I need it to clear the 2. And if it does that, it may come here and just on the bottom rail, which is about the best safety-wise I can ask for. I don't know if I can clear this 2 ball, so that may end this idea right away. But I am trying to make the 4. And that was pretty much the worst situation that could have happened. I broke out. The only problem for stripes, although I did not leave an easy opening shot for stripes. So what do you do if you're stripes here? Do you take the 11-15 and use the cue ball to break out the mess? The 15 is not a dead combo. It's off to the side in the pocket. Do you try the 9 in the side, and if you miss, you're leaving 1, 2, 4 wide open. I think I actually might try that. Now, it'd be nice to be able to leave it for the 12. I don't know if the 12 goes past the 15. It's really, really, really tight going past the 15. I don't think I would want to take that in a pressure game situation. So I'm going to leave the 12 where it is. I'm going to play the 9 straight in the side, come out for the 15. This is just straight top. It looks like 12 might go, but I'm telling you, if I hit that rail at all, what it's going to do is it's probably going to go in off the 15, but then I have no shot because I'm going to be around here. And the more I try to get a shot off the 12, the more chances I have missing that. I think if I try to follow it, it's going to go off the point. It does go down here though now that I've opened up the ball. So I'm going to play the 15. Question is, do I come out for another ball out of this mess? I can't hit these 3 balls. I don't have the right angle to do that. I could play for the 13 in the upper right. And this is just a high ball with a touch of left to just open up the angle a little bit off past the 7. Just like that. A little high on the angle, so I can go for the 10 if I like. I still have problems with the 14. The 10 is pretty straight. Getting the right angle on the 11 opens up the 14, kind of, but the 7 is still a problem. So I'm gonna take the 13 and see what I can leave myself with. Cue ball is gonna go out here and to the middle is what my goal is. Now this is a tough shot because if I miss, I'm leaving things open for solids. But I felt pretty good on that. Now if I get enough angle, I can go for the 14, which I did not get. I still have the 12, which is an issue, which I might have to deal with here. But I can also try to come into the back of the 14 with the 10. The problem is, what shot do I have after that? Answer, not much. So I'm gonna try to play this 11. I'm gonna leave the cue ball over here. Now the other thing I could do, and I won't shoot this, is I could try to play the 11, either miss on purpose or call safe, because there are a lot of leagues that let you do that. Try to play the cue ball somewhere behind this 7. I needed enough that I don't have that solids doesn't have the 1 ball shot, which I'll kind of get out of the way so you can see it. And the 7 does not go past the 4 or the 1. But since I'm trying to play to win here, I'm gonna go for this 12 ball. I still have issues with the 14. I gotta get it out of there somehow. This is a stun shot. I'm aiming toward the left side of the pocket, forcing the cue ball to the rail. Now this point on the side pocket is huge. I just need to avoid that. I had to figure out what angle I want on the 10. I could almost draw this 1 rail into the 14. I do not like putting a lot on these shots. I just want to kind of cinch this. So I need to get up. And this is where you use physical cues on your table. I need to get in a line between the 10 and the spot. And basically first diamond here. This is kind of the line I want or more. And I can go all the way up to this line up here, which is way down here. I just don't want to be behind the 2 ball. And then I can play the 10 block or knock the 14 out of there. So this is going to be a center ball with kind of just a rolling center ball on top. Almost got behind the 2. That was the concern there. But I'm pretty good on the line here. Now, this one I'm going to play, it's going to be a center ball with right spin, and it's going to hopefully come into the 14 solid, knock it a little bit towards the side, and leave the cue ball out. Maybe a little below center. I missed it. Did open up the 14, but now, just the same as when I moved the 8, I can assume that I just lost this game. So I'm assuming solids 1, I don't remember what I took first, but that is the first game with the more messed up break. So hopefully these are teaching you something. I don't think watching guys run out really helps unless you're doing it like I did where I just described every shot. I think these are more realistic games. So let's go on to rack number 2 in the second bell breaks. Now, one of my rules on my table is I always play with the template rack, but because I wanted to get more of a random rack, I shouldn't say random, messy rack maybe, I decided to use the triangle here. The table is really trained well for the template, so this should emulate more of a real life condition. So again, just a low ball, not draw, not stun, just somewhere in between. That was a much better hit. I'm gonna scratch? No, I'm not gonna scratch, but I made a wall, almost made 2, and we have some problems here. So this is good to look at. So obvious problems are the 1 ball for solids. It may squeeze by there off the back of the 14. It's tough because you gotta hit the point almost dead on. Stripes is the 9, the 13. However, in almost every league and tournament I've played in, except for Ultimate Pool, you can play what they call a dirty combo, which is a 5 into the 13. And I might be able to do, here's where I get in trouble sometimes with my ghost matches, where I try to do too much on the first shot. If I could do this and break, kind of bring the cue ball into the 9, I may be able to get the 6 out of the way with the 5, and I also may be able to get the 9 out of the way with the cue ball. Again, it's not a straight in combo. It is pointing a little bit to this point, and I'm on a cut angle, so I'm just gonna put straight draw on it, get the right angle, and try to go into the 9. This is actually more stun. And I missed the 9, but I got the 6 out of the way. And now we're in a position where I have to take the ball that's blocking the only out ball or my only safety valve for solids. So at this point, I need to figure out, can I run this rack out? Are there any issues? Do I want to try to run the rack out? Do I want to try to play safe? If I do not want to run the rack out and I do not want to play that, I either need to take another ball, which the only one I have here is the 12. I do not consider jumping the 15 or the 9 as a realistic shot. I do not consider the 10-9 as a realistic shot. But I do not want to move this 14 because although it may go, it's really tight. In fact, if I cheat, and where did that ball go? It went over here. You aren't supposed to be able to do this in a game. A ball can go through here, but I had to slide it across the rail and slide it across the point to do it. I don't think that one can go. Now, if you're playing with bigger pockets and it looks like there's much more room, or the 14 is over here more, then it's less of a concern. So that's the question to be answered. Do I feel that I can run out? Now me, I always feel like I can run out, so I'm gonna say yes, in which case I'm gonna take this 14. If no, I think I would go for the 12. Because it still leads to a chance to run out, because I'd make the 12 there, go off the 7, and probably go into the 11. The problem is the 7 is gonna go down, maybe blocking the pocket for the 11. Or, if I really thought I could get away with it, call the 14, put the cue ball behind the 1. You know what? Let's grab our handy sheet of stickers. I'm gonna mark the 14, I'm gonna play that shot. I'm gonna mark the 14 and the 1, and I'm gonna play that shot, and then we'll go back to this situation. This is the neat thing about these stickers. Mark situations and run them over. If there's a safety you really like that you see on TV and you wanna try to duplicate it, take a picture of it, put the balls on your table the way that you see them, and then use these stickers to mark them. And obviously this is not gonna be 100% exact, but because I did have to pick up the ball and put the sticker under it, but it's at least starting from the same place. So what I'm gonna try here, I don't know how much my back is gonna block this shot. I'm just gonna hit the 14 as much to the left side of the pocket as I can, cue ball is gonna go one rail and stick to the back of the one, and hopefully not stick in a way that it leaves a shot. No spin here, just little top. I don't think that worked. Never mind, it did work. The 8 is blocking the 3, but I wanted the 1 to block the 3. So you know what? I did not mark the cue ball. That was my mistake there. I think it was about there. We'll just say it was there. You do want to mark the cue ball on these shots because you want to give yourself a repeatable process. I'm going to try this shot one more time and then we'll move on. That is what I'm looking for. So sure, solids can do something here. They have a ball they can hit. I'm not gonna get ball in hand, but what do you do here as solids? Where do you play it where you leave stripes no shot? Yeah, I've seen people try to do weird things where they tap it to the rail and try to hide it behind the 1, but I mean, unless you get the cue ball on the 1 in this line, you're not doing that. We'll try that real quick. I don't think I can get a legal shot while trying that. I mean, that's about the best you can hope for, but I have the 15, I have the 9. I have options to resafe if I need to. So we will put these back. Again, I forgot to mark the cue ball. It's funny how that works, but I know I couldn't see the 15. I could see the 12. It's about there. I'm just gonna play it from here. We're gonna plan the run out from here. So I need to spin this around the 1 and come out. I could come out for the 10, I could come out for the 12, I could come out for the 15 or the 9. So there's a lot of places I can go. I do want to avoid the 8, so I'm gonna come more to this side, which is gonna require more right spin and maybe even a little bit of low to cut that angle off. That's pretty good because I screwed up the 15 ball. Obviously not what I intended. And now I almost have to take the 9. 15 does go in the side. Otherwise I could try to break it out. I could take the 10 and then come back and try to play the 9 and pop the 15 out, but the 10 is in a, I don't want to bridge over the 9 like that. So I could try to pop into the 15 here, just move the 5 and then have the 10. Should not get frozen on the 15 because that's really hard to do. We'll try that. Just like that. And now the issue here for stripes for the run out was always the 11 ball, but now I can get to it really easily from the 12. I can also then use the 11 to get on the 15 on the side to use the 10, which leads right to the 8. If you didn't see that pattern, let me draw some lines real quick. I'm just gonna stand here and I'm gonna draw the lines in post. So this will be future me drawing the lines, but present me talking. But when you watch it, it'll be past me talking, you'll see it, whatever. I should have enough lines drawn on the table by now to show the pattern. See if I can get it to happen. Just need to get away from this 3 ball. So I played it a little bit to the left side of the pocket so that I could avoid the 3. Now, by avoiding the 3, I didn't want the cue ball to be like here, so I was bridging directly over the 3. This is a little bit of bridge over the 3, but it's much better than if I was directly on top of it. Here I want to come one rail just right towards, if I could go towards a 7, that'd be fine, but I don't want to flirt with hitting the 7, because if I hit the wrong side of the 7, I'm in trouble. So this is basically a center ball. I have to watch the speed on this. A center ball would take it right in between the line, but it will go right past the 15 if I hit it firm. So I'm gonna put a little bit of, just kind of play this with top right, or top left to cut off the angle. Just like that. And this leaves me in a really good line because I can just roll this ball in. and I have a good angle to get the 15 or get the 10 or the 10 and pop it off the rail for a straight in 8-ball. Just like that. I think on my wall I have to take the extension off here. 8 is straight in. In fact, if you watch my shooting system video, if you haven't, go watch that link. I can do 1, 2, 3, close my eyes, and make the ball with no vision at the end. So that was rack 2. Let's go on to rack 3. All right, this is rack number 3 in the second ball break segment of this video. Now, I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I never do the second ball break, it doesn't work for me. I was one of those people. I pretty much, before maybe a year and a half ago, I probably tried 10 of them and 9 of them flew off the table. I had no idea what I was doing. I see a lot of people up like this on the rail. If you aim down like this at the ball, like you do kind of some people do that for the head ball break, the cue ball is going right off the table. You just don't have the angle to hold it. If you hit this head ball, you are very likely to just send the cue ball immediately 100 miles an hour into the side pocket. If you hit it too hard, you are very likely to scratch. You want a level cue, as level as you can get it when you go into this ball. You want to hit this second ball square. And if you're using spin, you got to compensate for that. A lot of people use spin, tag the head ball, and they scratch. And like, oh, this never works for me, and they go back to break and dry on the head ball. Now, why would you want to use this break? Some people, that's all they ever do. In the days where the 8-ball break counted as a win, the 8-ball has tendency from this side to go over here. I would probably sit here breaking 100 times, I may make it twice. It's not like it's a guarantee. There's some people, oh, I can make it every time. Okay, sure. Okay, we'll just go with that. But if the head ball break isn't working, if you're playing someone of a higher skill level, this is kind of a tip. If you're playing someone of a much higher skill level, you want to leave a more clustered rack layout, go for this break. And you got to play a strategic game at that point, but it's a lot easier to play strategic than just having to make crazy shots, I think. That said, let's see what happens here. We're gonna break this one off and away we go. All right, so made a ball. And as I mentioned before, one of the common balls to go in is this corner ball, which on my table does not seem to want to go in. It's much more likely to go in on a 7-foot table. As the tables get bigger, they tend to go a little bit high. And when you're playing on a 9-foot, they can go as high as there. But that one like cross-side ball is the one that went in. So let's look at the problems on this rack. There are obvious ones. There is the 5-12. The 12 does go. The 5 probably goes. The 6-10 are kind of the same shot the other way. The 6 probably doesn't go, but the 6 will go over here. Actually, both balls will go over here once these two are cleared out. Those are really the only issues. The 9 ball to a lesser extent, but it's easy to get on that. Does the 10 ball go in this corner past the 6? It does not. Does the 10 ball go in the side from over here? It's close. It's very, very close. What I would really want to have is if the 10 ball was just a little bit out here, I could use that, to maybe break out the 12. The 12 does go though. Does the 10 go in this side? Absolutely not. Okay, let's look at solids. The 5 could go, but I'm never gonna play it here. It's way too risky to both make this cut, not have the cue ball scratch off the 14 and not just go disastrously wrong. 7 could be a shot, 3 could be a shot, the 1 could be a shot. The 3 ball for solids, believe it or not, is a problem ball because it's right in the middle of the table and this side pocket is blocked and this corner pocket is blocked and you can't really get it over here to make it in this side or here to make it down there easily. So the 3 could be an opening shot. I just don't want to take that hard of a shot to open up a rack. For me, the 7 is much easier than the 3. If you play the 3, the cue ball is going up here somewhere, and then you're kind of locked out. So I want to either play the 7 or the 1 if I'm going for solids. I think I like solids better. And this is going to be whatever shot I feel more comfortable with at the time is what I'm going to take. With super tight pockets, I need to punch this 7 out with low left to at least get out here. If I'm not comfortable on the table, or if the tip pockets are overly tight or playing overly tight, I may not take this. I know my table, which means I'm just going to chuck this into the rail probably. But I'm going to go for the 7 first. I came way too far back. I saved this rack to put my best stroke of the night on the ball. Oh, now I could play the 5 here. I don't know, there's a 1/16 of an inch between the 5 and the 12 going that way. And that's really the only shot I have. I could play the 2, but it's really tight past the 13. So I'm gonna grab the short cue and I'm gonna go for the 5. And then cue ball, I'm hoping goes around the 15, or at least goes into the 15 in a way that I still have the 1 on the side. So this I'm not putting any spin on, I'm putting straight top on. And I hit the 12, and that pretty much is gonna end my run. Well, definitely gonna end my run, but let's look at stripes and see how this looks. That was always going to be the issue with playing that shot, is the 12 was, because I was on the opposite side of it, I was blind to the 12 ball. I think I found a way to get out of this mess. I'm going to play the 14, I'm going to drop down to about there. I could do it with the 15, but the 15 is pretty straight. 14, I can just play to the side of the pocket. This is a little bit of low left, mostly stun. Get right on that 12 ball. I don't think I have an angle to get into the 10. I'm pretty straight. But now that the 5's out of the way, the 10 does go. So I'm gonna play this. This is a dangerous shot because you can decelerate and miscue. You can have the cue all fly back into your Q-tip. I'm gonna play draw with low outside, which is low right. You gotta work on your aim for these shots and follow through. Come right out for the 15. Or I could, if I didn't get as far out, I could have come out for the 9. If I went too far, I could have been on the 11. And now instead I'm straight in on the 15. This is a problem that I have, is I get straight in on a lot of shots that I really can't afford to get straight in on. I need an angle. So now I'm gonna have to draw back out to about where I am, but the 15 doesn't help me get on the 10. The 13 helps me get on the 10 the 10 helps me get on the 10. 15 would help me get on the 10 if I was where the 8 ball was. Could take the 11 now. But I think I'm just gonna, you know what, I'm gonna look at where the 9 is and see if I can just stop it. Yeah, if I stop the 15, I'll be on the 9. Oh, my tablet shut off. No logo for you guys. I'll fix that after this rack. For now, enjoy the nice blue screen of the TV. So this, I'm leaving myself the hardest ball for the last shot, which is not a good thing to do in 8 ball, but I have no choice. And I have no way to play it safe, really, so I have to just keep going here. Stop shot here. Oh, the 13 could go in the side. And if I get a good angle on it like this, I can roll up by the 2 for the 10 in that corner, your lower left, my upper right. It's a little risky, but I don't know what else I can do here. I could probably try to go 1 rail right now, straight at the 2 ball with a lot of inside, but might as well just hand the guy the table for the next game. I do have to spin this quite a bit to get that angle on the 13 though. And the angle's tight. I need to be like right here. If I'm too far, it makes the shot much harder. If I'm too this, I gotta leave the cue ball like here for the 10. I gotta play this with a ton of inside spin and come 1 rail at it. I don't think I got it. So I'm either going to, well, assuming I make the 13, which is a big assumption because these pockets are tight. These side pockets are tight and pointy. I'm either gonna follow it right in, which is least likely to happen. I could get it perfect and leave the cue ball past it, or I could hit the point here, just kind of slide out. And that's not terrible for the 10 if I was right here. So I'm just gonna play top ball and just hope I don't do the bad thing, which is follow it right in, which is very, very unlikely as I see it, as I do it. And yeah, missing it was the most likely thing to happen, but I had a good angle on the 10 to actually use the 6 as a stopper. And then I got the 8. I'm still kind of bridging over the 6 here, so let's shoot the 8. We're gonna pretend the 13's not on the table. Oh, you know what? I don't have to bridge over the 6 at all. Yeah, so that was it. That was the bad decision on there. Cost me the rack. On to the next one. All right, rack 4. And trying this break again. Just a smooth, kind of a stun follow through. Now, a lot of times that cue ball will come through and hit the pack. It didn't, it was a little bit low, which means I could have used a little more draw and a little less stun, but this is a good example of what can come up in a game, standard game of 8-ball. So let's look at problems like we always do. First, we look at the 8. 8 is the most wide open ball on the table, so we don't even have to worry about the 8 for now. Let's take a look at stripes first. The 10 is a mess. The 14 does not go. The 13 can go up here. The 9 and 12 are kind of a mess in that they don't go in this side, but if you could get on the 13, from here, both the 9 and 12 go and that opens up the 11. But the biggest problem right now is the 10. Now, you could try to bank the 10 right from now and maybe break out you break out the 4 for sure, maybe break out the 14. Don't like it, not in love with it. But let's look at solids. Solids is kind of in the same boat in that the 4's blocking the 10. The 5 does go, the 6 does go once the 5 is gone. The 6 probably also goes in the side here and down here if you get up above it. The 3 goes, the 1 goes, the 2 goes. So I like solids better. The question is, how aggressive do you want to be in your playing? How good are you at banking? Now this is, I think, Danny DiLiberto used to mention this as his electric chair bank. Like if he had to make a bank and if he missed, he'd go to the electric chair, this is the bank he'd want. Now, personally, I don't really feel like going to the electric chair, especially over a bank shot, but this one isn't bad. It's almost a perfect angle. You're definitely gonna go into the 10. I can hit it with straight top. I can go into the 10. 10's gonna come out, it's gonna clear things out. The question is, what do I get after it? Where does the 10 go? What happens with the 4? Does the 14 move the 5? A lot of questions there. The 5 on the side, I would not even recommend this at this point. It's a very, very, very steep angle. And this is very missable, especially if you're a little nervous. The 3 ball does not go, so don't worry about that. The 6 could go, but I wouldn't take that. So if we're looking at like what's the easiest shot on the table, it's the 15. But I don't think there's future in stripes. There's no way to get these 2 balls out of here without doing something drastic. So this is a position I would actually look at taking the bank on the 7 to start the rack out, because there's really nothing else to do. There is a second option, and I'm not gonna play it. You could just tap the 7 ball straight into the rail and leave the cue ball sitting on the 7 ball. Now there are shots open. It's not like you're playing a rotation safety where you're trying to snooker the guy and get ball in hand. But if you leave the cue ball, say where the 7 is, the 15 may or may not go in the side. There's no other shot. Maybe, no, you wouldn't be able to see the 3, wouldn't be able to see the 14. It sounds crazy to play safe on an open table. If you're playing an overly aggressive guy like the drunken fool I played a couple weeks ago, who told me that I can't be a 600 Fargo because I play safeties, I would play that safety and watch him just shoot himself in the foot by trying to take some stupid crazy shot, thinking he's all cool because he doesn't play safeties. If I'm feeling good and I'm shooting good, I'm gonna play this bank shot and I'm gonna go for the run out. It's how you feel at the time, it's who you're playing at the time. If I'm playing somebody that I know can re-safe me and that safety is not really good, I'm probably gonna take the bank shot. If I'm playing someone where I'm almost guaranteed to get back to the table, I may go at the bank shot. If I'm playing someone who's dangerous and who's potentially could run out, but also could do something stupid, I play the safe. So I'm not gonna play the safe, because just imagine the 7 is close to the rail, because all you gotta do is tap the 1 and the 7 and get both balls like here. Imagine these are in line with what those are. There's something like that. If this is the 7, that's a cue ball, something like that. You don't have to go overly aggressive on that at all. It's just a way to get, let the other guy figure it out. If you're playing a very strategic person, especially if you're playing a 1 pocket player like our friend Tim at Romines, who loves playing safeties on open tables, I would not play the safety because I think he's gonna outmaneuver me. So I'm going at the bank shot. All that said, all that talking and babbling. And I'm playing this with top, I'm hitting it firm. I'm gonna line it up first. I think I got lucky because I think I have the 6, but this is the kind of stuff you gotta watch out for, because you may not get a shot. If I was, hang on, I'm gonna take a picture of this and post it on the video, and I will cut a little bit out, but I'll post this picture as how close I am to the 10. All right, I just took a picture to show you how close I was to the 10, and I'll pop that up somewhere. Apologies for the cut mid-rack, but if I was frozen on it, meaning the tiniest bit of tiny bits closer, I would have no shot right now, except for maybe the edge of the 4. As it is, I got really lucky to get a shot on the 6. The 5 does go here, and I just verify that. So I either need to hit the 15 out of the way or draw into the 5 and get that out of the way. Yeah, the 5 does go clean. You usually don't want to hit balls that go. So in this case, I'm going to play the 6 on the side with some left spin and try to hit the 15. Just like that. Now I gotta be careful that I don't hit any other balls, because the 4 goes, everything else goes. So this one I'm gonna stun up. I wanna get a line. I wanna get in this area, but I don't wanna get close to the side pocket and possibly scratch. I don't wanna hit the 10. So my window is here to, we'll say there, because I don't want to get too close to the side. This is a touchy, jacked up kind of draw stun thing. I do not want to roll this ball because you're going to hit the 10. You need to draw past the 10. Maybe not jacked up is the right word, but close, touchy, draw, stun thing. Just like that. So I'm in a weird angle here because I don't want to hit anything, but I need to get that 3-ball out of there at some point. And now seems like the most, after the 4-ball, seems like the most realistic way to do it. Problem is I'm really straight on the 4. So do I can try bouncing the 4 off the rail. It's pretty straight. That may lead to a miss. That may lead to bobbling the pocket. I could try following it, a little bit inside, but then I have to traverse this and come out and still get a shot. What if I just play for the 1? So the 4, 1, 2, 3 is going to be my pattern here. I'm just going to draw back just a hair, kind of play this into the rail and slide it into the pocket. Sorry if I hit the microphone with my fingers there, or my cue there. So I got a really good angle on this 1. I'm gonna just float out to the rail. Almost doesn't matter what angle I get on the 2, but I do wanna look at it because I do wanna I would like to be on this side of it and not straight. This side of it's okay too, but I don't think I can get there. I think I have to get all the way down here because I wanna get relatively straight on the 3. If I was where the 11 was on the 3-ball, that would be perfect, but I can't get there because the 11 ball's there. Let's try this. That shot was just straight top. It did skid a little bit. I don't know if you saw that. It's a danger of playing slow rolling balls. So I'm at a weird angle here. I need a little bit more. I've gotten in trouble on this shot specifically in my Ultimate Pool matches. I'll put a link to something where I bounce off the rail and get into the 11 or behind the 11 or too far. But that said, I have to try this, and this is a stun shot, so I'm gonna have to be jacked up on the rail, a little bit of left, come to the rail and out. I don't wanna just roll this. Do I wanna just roll this? Let me look at this. I really hate rolling this ball. I know a lot of you guys love rolling the ball, but the problem with rolling it is I can get this angle, which means I'm going into the 13, and then the 8 ball is a guess. I really need this angle where I come up. Like if I could stun into the 11, it would be perfect, but I don't want to take that much of a risk. So I need to roll it. I need to go, you know what? I'm not going to jack up. I'm just going to play a little bit of outside and go off the rail and roll it without extension on, because my friend the wall's there. And just try to get that same angle behind the, without getting stuck behind the 11. I think that's good. It's really tight though. Yeah, I'm good. I'm on the correct side of the 13, or of the 3 to be away from the 13. And now I just got to roll this forward, and I can get as far as here. But I need to clear. My goal is just my aiming goal is to clear the side pocket with the cue ball. That's all I'm really aiming for. Well, I'm aiming to make the 3-ball, but as far as position. Again, slow rolling it, hate to do it. And I'll just shoot this in with the short cue because I'm on the wall. And that is that. I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different for rack 5. Stay tuned. All right, we are on the last rack in this video, I promise. I may show some outtakes of things that I tried to set up, but what I'm trying to do for this last rack is, look, everyone's been there where there's been a bad break or a bad spread, and you have to try to deal with and try to play a game. It's no fun. I mean, it is fun, but I mean, it's no help watching pros run out. And I'm not a pro and not anywhere near close, but it's no fun just watching players run out because it doesn't help. You don't learn anything. It's fun to watch and, oh, wow, that was a great shot, that was a great lead, blah, 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 but it doesn't help you get into a situation because then you're gonna get to the bar
and someone's gonna break and 7 clusters are gonna be around the table. This table breaks really well. I hate to say, I mean, I don't hate to say it, I love it, but I don't get typical clusters like you get on, say, a 7-foot, either diamond or valley with maybe a loose rack, a couple balls that are overly dirty, haven't been polished in a while, dirty cloth, rails that aren't, you know, great and perfect and everything. Let's just say we get a bad rack and a bad layout. What do? I'm gonna try to simulate one here. It may take me a couple times. I'm not even using my break cue, as you notice. I'm gonna just kind of hit this weak and see what happens. And hopefully it doesn't get like a miracle break and everything looks good. Yeah, this is what I've been looking for. Full disclosure, I did try this break a number of times. It didn't work. So what do you do here? You got obvious problems. There's this mess. There's the 5 and the 10 are really the biggest 2 problems on the table because you can find ways to break out this pack. If I was right here, I could play the 14, go into the 9 and the 15 would come out. The 15 may even clip the 4 to clip the 5, but you're asking for a lot. What do you do in this situation if you are up against a hyper-aggressive player, if you're up against a very defensive-minded player, if you're against a smart player, a less experienced player? What do you do? And I talked about this a lot in Rack 4. This is a situation where I've seen people get up to this table and immediately shoot the 7 without even thinking. And then maybe they come out here and they make the 6 or they make the 1 or, you know, whatever. What's the plan? What do you do? What do you do in situations like this? This is a tough one because you don't want to start making balls without a plan. You don't want to try to run out because there's really no run out, but what do you do for safeties? Like if you want to take stripes, this 7 is a big ball. If you want to take solids, you got to work with the 5, you got to work with the 1 and the 4. You got these 2, of these 5 balls in this cluster right here, the stripes have the advantage because they're on the outside. Because if you hit the 14 or the 9, the 15 comes out. Whereas you have no way to get to this cluster. You could try it right now, but do you want to just air bridge this or do you want to put your hand down here? You're never going to get this cue ball back with any power. If you're left-handed, actually if you're left-handed, it may be worse. So take that off the books. A creative shot, if you were left-handed, which I'm not, so I can't do this, and I actually can't even make a bridge left-handed, would be to call the 7 and play the cue ball off the 12 into the 7 and hopefully come out for the 1 ball. That'd be a decent way to start because if you get the 1 out of the way, you could play the 4 and break these out. However, this is not a high percentage shot at all. So what do? If you're going to take solids, you do not shoot the 7. You shoot the 6. If you take stripes, I would like a bigger angle on this, but I would almost try to go 1 rail into these. The problem is you have no insurance ball. And what I mean by insurance ball is you want a ball somewhere you can make, whereas if you get here, let's say the cue ball comes into this pile and spreads things around and you can only see the 12. You can't make it because the 7's in the way. I do not recommend the bank on the 12 back here because it leads to nowhere. Sure, you can make it. You might be able to go 2 rails around into the 10, but now we're talking 20 to 30% shots rather than 60, which are still bad. You could play the 13, but there's no future there. I'm actually pretty stumped on what to do here. I think I would play the 6 ball for solids. And what I'm gonna hope to do, I don't think I can even get the angle to get what I wanna do because the 1 does not go past the 4. What I would wanna do is I'd wanna be able to get in square on the 4. Like if I was right where the 6 ball was right now, I could then play like a straight pool breakout shot and break these balls out. So I think we've ruled out going for the run out here. After 10 minutes of me babbling, But what we haven't ruled out is the possibility that we could establish a suit and then play safe. So I think that's what I want to do. And what's the easier suit to do that on? I think with the 7 here, it is solids. I think that is the way to go. So I'm going to play a kind of a risky shot, but if I miss, I'm not selling out the rack. I'm going to play the 6 on the side with a bunch of left spin and come 1, 2, and hopefully get on the kind of where the 6 is now. That's my target on the table, is where the 6 is now, to kind of get the 4 and see if I can go from there. So let's stop talking, start shooting. And I hit that way too hard, but I'm gonna have something. Will not have the 7, but I will have the 4 the other way. Now the question I have to ask myself is, do I wanna make balls here? I love the 4 for a breakout shot on that rack, but it doesn't do me any good if I can't get to it. So where can I leave the cue ball where stripes doesn't have a shot? Now the 13 goes, and with the 7 there, it actually makes it a big pocket. And if it's anywhere past like here, past being this way, you can play a pretty good breakout shot into the top of the pack and get on things. So what I want to do is I want to play, and safeties in 8-ball is a different philosophy than rotation. I'm going to get out of the way so my face isn't all dark. This light on the pool table, and somebody recommended putting a curtain back there. I have thought about it, and I've actually thought about it more since he said that. The problem is I have chairs that go all the way back in case we have multiple people here, but I won't go into that. When you're playing a safety in a rotation game, you're almost wanting to get a lock-up snooker safety so you get ball in hand. In 8-ball, as long as your opponent doesn't run out and doesn't leave you in a situation where you can't make a legal shot, it's a good safety. So if I play the cue ball and I leave the cue ball, say, here, what can my opponent do? Hit the 15, maybe hit the 11, maybe come off the 10, maybe hit the 12, but nothing goes. So that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm gonna hit the 4, probably into like the first diamond, maybe first and half diamond. I'm gonna play the cue ball above the 5 into that rail. Actually, the 4 is going further down, like second to third diamond. I'm calling safety in case I make the 4, which I don't expect to make. Did not want to hit the 5 there, but that's fine. In fact, this is perfect. This blocks off the 11. Opponent can hit the 12. Cannot hit the 13. Can hit the 15, but that doesn't do any good at all. Cannot really hit the 10 unless they try to kick it. Might be able to, no, can't clip the edge of it. So now what do you do? If you're stripes, there's this ball that's out here now, which is kind of people call them a duck, or I like to call them insurance balls. You can make that ball from all ways over the table. The 1 does go from certain places into sides. So you have to try to find a place to put the cue ball where your opponent can't do anything. Also, the 7 is a huge ball that's in the way. And if I would have played this cue ball right here, this shot would not even be possible. But what I'm gonna try to do, and this may not even be possible here, what I wanna do is I wanna play the 7 or the 12-7 combo and just bring the cue ball back up here. So I'm gonna have to play a little bit of outside and top, which may make this miss, but I think I got it. And now Solids is in huge trouble because this is the snooker safety I was talking about that you don't really get in 8-ball. Solids is just a disaster here. Can't hit the 3. Now, as solids, you do not have to go after a ball. And I think a lot of people think, oh, I don't want to give ball in hand away because all the commentators go, anything's better than ball in hand. Not necessarily an 8-ball. Straight pull in one pocket, the players play purposeful or intentional fouls all the time. Now, if you're playing ultimate pool style, you are in trouble because you have to go after a ball, in which case I would cut or kick. I would not cut anything. I would kick at the 2 or the 1 because you can't kick at the 4 because you don't have enough room past this 14. And I would just try to get a hit and hopefully not break this thing out. But in this situation where we're playing just standard like BCA rules or whatever, I want to take away possibilities for stripes and maybe even make things worse. Could I tie up a ball in a way that it puts it more into this stack, into this cluster here? The 14 no longer goes based on that hit into the pack. And these are very important things to look out for. So there is no shot with ball in hand where you can like play the 14 into those that I said before. The 15 will, or the 13 will play like that. But what if we could tie up something in a way that the 13 doesn't go? I don't know if there is. I'm just asking a question here. What if I try to play the 12 off the 2 points and have it come out and block the 13? I could play the 11, 2 rails into this and make it worse. Or I could just put the cue ball onto the table. I do not recommend picking up the ball and giving your opponent ball in hand. In a lot of rules, that is considered unsportsmanlike conduct and you can lose the rack. So I would recommend actually taking a shot if you're gonna do that, but you can just hit the cue ball into the corner pocket and it does the same thing. So I definitely don't wanna hit these 4 balls. I'm looking at either the 11 or the 12. I think I wanna take the 12, and keep in mind, I'm solids here. I've been talking a lot, so I know this. I wanna try to get the 12 in the way of the 13 ball. So now I give ball in hand. Now, what I didn't do is I didn't block the 12 ball from doing this, but as stripes now, how confident are you that you can break these balls out and get a shot? And I put it about there. You have to stun across. You still have to deal with the 10. That's kind of still a safety valve for solids. Or do you keep playing safeties? I don't know what good that's gonna do eventually. Now, if you have an opponent that it's obvious they're gonna try to kick a ball, just make a ball at a time and call safety. What I mean by that is, say I'm playing safe. Now, I don't know what rules everyone plays out there. In BCA, this is allowed. I'm playing safety. Now it's Solid's turn. Solids has the 1 with no future because nothing else goes. If you're playing a super hyper aggressive person, they could bank the 2 over here and try to break out the 3 with no future. But you know, if you know who you're playing, they're gonna do this. And you're like, okay, now I got the 4, gotta play the 4. If you're playing one of these like hyper aggressive that don't think player. And they're gonna try to go into the 5. And they may get it, they may not. Oh, they got it. They got a shot in the 5. Now, if I end up running this out, I'm gonna look stupid, but I'm just gonna show you how hard this is. This is now they've kind of committed to trying to run out because there's no way they can play safe because of all these 3 balls are out here. The 10, 13, and 12 are all out here. So now you gotta play the 8 back here, which is a back cut with a draw shot, and you're gonna draw into the 2 or the 15. Okay, cool, I got a breakout. Now what? 3 doesn't go. So now what do you do with solids? Now you're even in a worse spot because this 2 is behind the 13. And let's say I somehow make the 3 and I don't get a hit on the 2, your opponent's just gonna play safe and pick 1 ball off at a time. So there's a couple of people that I play that will go after this shot and they'll call the 3 in this corner. And I gotta clear the 10 to make this work. If I do, it's gonna look really cool for a YouTube short. If I don't worry about it. Yeah, never mind. But you get the point. There was no future for solids in this rack once he started making balls. Once they got out of that position, even when giving ball in hand to stripes, you couldn't save yourself. So that is that. Those are the 10 racks that I've played. Let me know if you have any questions. Obviously, this last rack could have gone all sorts of different ways. By the way, I was trying to 4-rail the 3-ball around everything, but I clipped whatever ball was right here. Something went in on stripes, but yeah. And you maybe say, well, now look at what stripes has. They don't have a shot. Well, okay, let's play that game. Now what do solids do? The 2 off the 9? That has a 0% chance of going in, but that's the only ball you can hit. Could play safe. Could try to pull it all the way up table. But without selling anything out. Let's just play this out. This looks interesting now. I was gonna end the video, but now this looks kind of interesting. Now I need to worry about the 10 if I'm stripes. So I can play the 9, I can try to go into it now. I need to get around the 13. Although with that, I just made things a lot tougher for solids. Although I think I can break the 10 out right here. I'm gonna go 1 rail off the back of the 10 and just bump it out a little bit. Okay, so I missed. Now what does solids do? So anyway, now I will end this video. This rack obviously could have been played out 100 different ways, million different ways. It looks more like a straight pool or a 1-pocket game than it does 8-ball, but everyone's been in that situation. So let me know what you learned from this. If you like this kind of video, I do have in the plans to do this with 9-ball and 10-ball, which I think is gonna be a little bit less complicated, probably shorter. Like I said, in the first 5 racks, I may have broken this out into 2 videos. I did shoot it all in 1 video, but I may break it out into 2 just because I have no idea how long this lasted. I have no idea when I came down here and when I started recording, and it's 3.5 hours later. Now granted, I did take breaks in between and stuff like that, but I think there's a good call for this. I've had people actually ask me to live stream with this on, and I will do that at some point, just kind of talking through what I do, but I want to have a little bit edited and a little bit, I don't want to say scripted because none of these racks are scripted. These are real breaks and real racks and everything. I did play a couple over, but that's besides the point. But I just wanted to have like a real life situation of, hey, we're playing 8-ball. What does the table look like? How do I get out? How do I play safe? How do I do whatever? Now, I am the kind of player that's going to go for rounds more often. So if you want me to try to do this with, I could have maybe Matt R come over. We could both be, in fact, now I have a video idea. Matt R and I will do this. We will both be mic'd up and we'll record a video with us playing, talking through every single shot, what we're thinking. And I want to talk about what I'm thinking for me, and he's going to talk about what he's thinking for him. And then we'll kind of come together. Maybe we'll play a couple games where I just talk when I'm shooting, he talks when he's shooting, and no shot clock or anything, obviously. And then we'll play a couple games where we're both talking for each other and what we would do in each other's situations and see how the thinking is different. So anyway, this is over. This is enough. I've shot enough for tonight, and my feet are sore, and I have a headache, and no, I don't really, but I just looking for a reason to end this. So like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below. If you haven't seen the shooting system video, you need to go watch that. That has blown up. It's, for me, blowing up is 1,000 views, and this one has almost 3,000. A couple of shorts videos that I put in there, I'll put a link to those up at some point. Those have gotten a couple thousand views each, so I'm really appreciating everyone. Really appreciate everyone for subscribing. Let me know what you think about this idea and concept, and if you want to see 9-ball or 10-ball or both. I don't know if I know enough to be able to do one pocket, so I'm sorry, I'm not the one pocket guy. But until next time, have yourselves a great day. We'll see you. Can I get the 3 to double bank in the side while I make the 13? I don't think I can, but I'm gonna try it. So I'm calling the 3 in the opposite side from me. Oh, it actually came out too much. I didn't think I would get enough on it, but look at this safety. What do you do here? This is brutal. It's the brutal safety league. I think you bank it right here. Draw the cue ball all the way back. And hopefully it turns over. Like that. That's not a bad shot. Now what do you do with the 12? Do you play a stop shot? I think you do. I don't think it goes in the side. I'll call it up in the corner in case it goes off the 3, but I'm just gonna play a stop shot and leave the cue ball right there. Uh-oh. I left to jump on the 3. This is all, by the way, this is gonna be blooper stuff if it works. I don't know how I can draw off the... Oh, or I'll miscue jump. That was an interesting shot. That's what happens when you don't know how to jump, draw. Now what do you do with this ball? Cut it? Four rail it? Four rail it. Call it in that corner. Easy game. Oh, I hit the 12. But it left the 12 safe? No, it didn't. All right, this game's finally over after 115 innings. So, you know, like I said, Stripes is gonna win this game almost every time, as it was so obvious by this way the table laid out. All right, that's it.